up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse, this is State of the Game. If you run into us in the wild, you're a fan of State of the Game and a MAGA supporter, just let us know by complaining about trans people in the Olympics. We'll know exactly what kind of flavor you are, and we'll be on warning. So that is the flag you fly. So I am Dano, and I don't fuck with that shit. But my fucking I'm sick because my goddamn son, he's not here right now, so I can do this shit. This motherfucker. Kids. Kids cough
Mm.
like like they're trying to get you.
Dude, iPad kid is
Kids
like, it's
kids
like a
cough.
viral.
Like I'll be like, cover your cough. And he'll be like, and he's sticking his fucking tongue out. I'm like, it feels like a Kyrie fancy move, like, ankle breaker to get me sick. That's what it feels like.
Get in the air. Get all the germs in the air.
Yeah, I'm not over it. But he's not listening, so it's okay. Um, I love that kid. So my co-host comes here every week, beat the fuck out of Elon Musk using only jabs and good movement. He sweet P. Whitakered
Hmm.
Elon Musk. Uh, didn't have to break a sweat. K. Diggy, thank you for being here.
Man.
Need a
Vinny loves my boxing references. He's a great listener. Shout out to Vinny Paz. We have a great guest. This has been bubbling in the community.
Hmm.
Bubbling. People have been like, "Have you heard? Have you been listening to?" It was almost like we were confessing a new drug we were addicted to. You know, this is like the Ozempic of the underground hip hop scene. Sudoku, all caps.
Mm.
Albany's own. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm still hype off the Albany infomercial.
Yeah, because that's just a we have like one attraction in Albany, which being the capital of New York is crazy, and that's the mall. That was I think that audio is just a commercial from the 80s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put the mall in.
And the dude tries to accentuate the way he's like million people. He's like trying to make that shit sing. It's great.
Yo, he really just should have said for like 2 minutes straight, this isn't the city. It's not New York City.
Yep, yep.
Because anytime, like, I've lived here like almost my whole life, really close to, and I don't. It's the capital of New York, but it's not. Everybody knows the city is.
Right.
But Albany is a hidden gem, though. There's a lot of good stuff up here.
We have a similar situation in Maine. Augusta is our capital.
Hmm.
No one goes to Augusta if they can avoid it. It's not that it's a bad area. It's not like you go in there and there's butterfly knives and shit. Like it's not. Um, I don't know why that's my bad. West Side Story is my worst case scenario. But it's just kind of dead and sad.
It's nothing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you drive through, you're just like, "Oh, where's the next town? This is
Yeah, that sounds like Albany.
when a friend moves to Augusta, you're like, oh,
It's losing a friend.
yeah, 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 exactly. So I understand the thing where it's like, we're the capital, and you're like, no, not really.
I mean,
It's
I thought Portland was the capital. I just learned any facts.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
unofficial, yes, unofficial capital.
It's the same deal. It's the same deal. It's what people think of it, but yeah, obviously to a different extent in terms of the power rankings, but yeah, but I'm very interested, and I was trying to think of what like the Sudoku magic of where you're at, and I was thinking of one line. It just keeps sticking with me. You said they stabbed Caesar in the back. Pizza, pizza. And I just kept thinking about that shit. I was like, nobody would fucking do that. You know what I mean? People, it would just, you'd think of it and be like, I can't do that. I can't. You know, like
Yeah.
you go for it in a way that you get to places other people don't get to.
Yeah, I mean, I like to put goofy shit in music a lot of times. Like that's how I cope with a lot of stuff is with humor. And like honestly, I'll be driving by and see something like I'll see like a fight outside of Little Caesars or something and be like, all right, Little Caesars has to be included somehow in the next thing I write. So I have a random note with like 20 things I saw or words that I thought of that have to make it in the song somehow. And by the end of it, it has to sort of make sense with the other stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I used to love doing that. Um, that's it keeps everything fresh.
Right.
Um, that's good stuff. Yeah, the I remember I was hearing a buzz about you from everybody, and then I remember Faith and a Hammer dropped in January,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, it was just so cohesive, and so dope.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I just kept running it, you know, and I think that might have been where I officially, went into the abyss, the Sudoku layers. Um, so it's great. Was there any crazy lines that stuck out for you, Kay?
Oh, I mean, there were a lot of lines. What I really liked is like the blending of topics. So it's almost like the Little Caesar thing. I
Hmm.
mean, there's so many lines throughout the whole I listened to all five of the projects that you released this year. Um, so there was just so many lines, but I liked how they were all blended. Like you could have a serious line, like a political line, right next to like a pop culture line, right next to a like a sports reference line.
Hmm.
So that I mean, it was just a great blend of I don't know like different levels of seriousness. And
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I think yeah, and this is one of the reasons I was excited to talk to you, right? You just released Meals on Wheels,
Hmm.
right? Which came out the 20th of May. And I remember thinking, oh, this would be a great conversation because s- a lot of times when you talk to rappers, you're talking to them in their final form, right? So they come to the conversation in a very Muhammad Ali state of mind, where they're like, I'm the greatest. You're like, okay, cool. Um, and you're not in your final form yet, right? Like one of the lines that really stuck out with me is at home with the goats, call me Austin Reeves,
Hmm.
right? Or like I'm Austin Reeves. It was like, oh, okay, that's funny, but it's also a really good dart to hit the dartboard with to say, here's where I am and here's where I'm in my growth.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And that's how I think about everything like that, where we could always be growing. Like there's always things to learn. You can always get better at whatever you're doing. And that's I look at somebody like Woods or anybody who's been like Cobb before he passed.
Right.
Every album they got older, but they got so much better every album.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Learning is important, man. And that's the funny thing is there's funny stuff, there's political stuff, there's sad stuff, but it's all relevant to you. It's all relevant to understanding you. Um, is that is that a song by song responsibility or a bar by bar responsibility?
I honestly don't know. I think it'd probably be a song to song thing because I think like the way I write stuff is like generally most of the songs are about the same kind of things because it's just random stuff that was happening in my brain at the moment.
Right.
But making it translate to a cohesive album is always the goal, I guess. Like
Yep.
song by song. That's why I value transitions a lot. Like I could I'll let anybody out rap me, but I will not be out transitioned.
I love it.
Go into the next one.
I love that. Yeah, transitions are really important, and it's funny because when you listen to the best rap albums that transition well, it's an entirely different experience.
Mhm. And it's I think it's something that doesn't happen as much as people like as you might have used to, because people don't consume music
Right.
as full albums anymore. Like it's all, a lot of playlisting. Is
Sure.
why I hate Spotify for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I love sitting with a full album.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and the your albums do tend to be seamless front to back. You know, was it we said this compliment to somebody before, K, where you're like the album ends, you're like, oh shit, it's over. Like, yeah, I feel like I just put it on. Like that's how a lot of the releases felt to me. Um, and that's a compliment, right? That means it's
Yeah,
all hanging together. Um, yeah, that's
yeah, I
awesome.
mean, yeah. I mean, they definitely flow. There's a flow to all of the projects, I would say.
Mm.
Yep, yep. The so Kay, question
Mhm.
for you. Ooh, it's good. There's some good stuff here. Okay, so if someone was like, I don't know Sudoku, give me one song to listen to, what would it be?
Oh man, think I really so I of the projects that you released this year, I think Faith and Hammer uh was the one that really sold me, and that was like the fourth one I listened to.
Mm.
Um, so I think for me, I think I really liked. I liked to to take my bechamel like SNL taming Belushi,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and then overcoming inertia.
Mm.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. I was trying to think of like the song that most gives you the 2025 Sudoku experience so far.
Hmm.
And for me, it's Celebrity Deathmatch.
Mm.
Yeah,
You know, on To Spite the Face.
yeah,
Uh, Celebrity Death.
great hook.
Yeah,
I love that hook. Yes.
great hook. And it's funny, right? Bring back Celebrity Deathmatch, the reference to Celebrity Deathmatch. But it also does swirl around in like how fucked up and desperate the world around us is. So
Mm.
it's not lying to us, right? It's not cute music to make us feel good. It's telling us, man, this world's fucked up, huh? But it's a joke about that. And so it's like, oh, okay, you don't have to feel the weight on you, but this music understands what we're all living through.
Mm. Yes, I think a lot of it is like the with that song probably is like celebrity culture is crazy to me. I don't know why anyone would ever want to be a celebrity, and there's
Right.
more celebrities now than there's ever been with social media, and there's so much fucked up stuff that's going on in the world. But we're like, here's another celebrity. And I was like, I was playing a lot of I downloaded a bunch of PS2 games, and I was playing this Celebrity Deathmatch video game, which I did not know existed,
Yeah.
and it was crazy fun to play. So I had to hyper focused on that game for like a month.
Yeah.
No,
There was go
when
ahead.
did you create, like, what was the timeline for these projects?
They're normally quick. Like Faith and Hannah was like three, maybe the last 3 weeks of December.
Oh, wow.
Um, I don't like sitting on music because it feels weird to me. Like I want to move on to the next one. Um, Meals on Wheels was probably the longest one this year because I did the visual album with it. But yeah, the other stuff like the project with Thank You was like I recorded 15 songs in 2 days, and then we broke it up into three projects. So it's normally quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So three. So you had five projects that were released. Three of those projects were all recorded within like a 2 day time span. Is what you're saying?
Three with the producer, Thank You.
Okay.
So we did two last year and one this year, but all the songs were recorded on the same in the same 2 days. Um, I'm trying to remember what else. Sleep sent me all the verses back for Charred Remnants. Like I didn't hear for like a little while. He was like, I like these, and then like it was like 2 3 days straight of just here's another one, here's another one.
That's
So I like
Wow.
when stuff moves fast because I don't, and that's why I don't like waiting on features too. So that's why a lot of the stuff doesn't have features because I like to just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Wow.
That's cool. That's cool. No, it makes sense. Like waiting on features, heard can be stressful. Um, but yeah, that's you're in a very free space right now. You know, it feels like you are kind of at the end of the finding yourself space as an MC, right?
Mm,
The first phase is like I can really do this, you know? Let me show you. And this phase has been joyous because all these projects really carry the fun of doing this. The
yeah.
fun of having the right beat, you know, having the right loop, killing that shit, you know, uh, referencing stuff nobody's referencing, you know,
Mm.
like it's very dope. So
Thank you.
yeah, with it Speedy Claxton references and everything, like um, yeah, very good stuff. So it's very joyful. But the next phase, I think, is naturally where you start pushing yourself to make more statements, right? To make artistic pieces with stuff that stands out, that like, making moments,
Mhm.
you know. Uh, so I think that, yeah. Does that make sense, or am I out of bounds on that?
Yeah, totally. And that's what I wanted Meals on Wheels to be was with the visual aspect too.
Mhm.
Because I started making videos like just for fun. I made like the first two songs, and then I was just sending them to people, and I got to make music for or videos for like 3 4 different people while I was making the visual album. So it's just cool to be like, oh, this is a little piece that I can keep expanding on as well as the music. So that's what I felt like what you said was very accurate.
Mhm.
How do you think the visuals and the audio, like how do you think they align? Like what benefit does a listener get watching the visual album in addition to listening to the
I felt like the benefit would be to hear the whole album because like I was talking about with people just listening to songs.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I wanted people to have a reason to listen to the whole thing, and if they're like,
Mm.
oh, I can look at this cool thing while I'm listening, I thought maybe that would entice people to spend a half hour with it.
Mm.
Yep. So 4 songs on Meals on Wheels are not produced by you. Q No Rap Name, Iris, Amira, Lee Faulkner. You do so much of your own producing. What is the difference in approaching someone else's beat?
I would say it's like this. It's the same approach for me, but it's harder because I'm very picky on what beat I'm gonna rap on, and it has like Q got the beat on because I hit him up he posted that beat to Instagram, like playing it on the MPC 2000 XL, and I hit him up like, "Yo, I need that beat," and he was like, "That was a warm up. I turned the MPC off. That beat doesn't exist anymore. Like I didn't save it." But he like he like screen recorded, put in Koala, mixed it, and sent it to me.
Crazy.
But it's like the beat has to like Lee sent me a pack of stuff. I think there was like 30 beats in it, and I really liked the one. The others were really nice, but that one was like, yeah, it's gonna be the intro. And Iris Amira has been one of my best friends for like since like 2017. And this is the bulk of the stuff we've created has been this year. From like we're starting to lock in and know what the other side likes.
That's
Mhm.
dope. That's dope. The was there anyone, so as a producer or as a rapper or both, was there anyone who you were really interested in and you were like, I kind of want to carve out my path like that, or I could do that?
I mean, I really like we were talking about the Wu-Tang before this. Like Rizzo was a big one. Havoc from Mobb Deep,
Ooh.
that was a big one because I remember I played Shook Ones in my car in high school until the basically till the speakers stopped working. I played the Infamous, and yeah, that's like a perfect album. And I realized like after just a year of like putting the CD in and listening to it that Havoc made beats, and I just thought he was a good rapper, and I was like, oh, this is great. I didn't know you could do both. Same thing with RZA. Um, but seeing like Alchemist do a lot of rapping too, like the his first project was crazy. The first Infantry.
The man, you know what's crazy about Mobb Deep and about thinking about the Mobb Deep experience? Every time I think about how much I love Mobb Deep, I think about in my most painful times when I had them.
Yeah,
Because they could express pain and anger like just nobody, bro. So when I was in the army and we were sent over to Korea, just everybody in this place we don't know, working around the clock for dickheads. We're all young, we don't know, we can't speak the language. We're heartbroken, frustrated. We Whenever we got free time, you were putting on like Mobb Deep, Drink Away the Pain, and you were drinking away the pain.
yeah,
Um, and it made sense, you know. If you were angry, if you were heartbroken, that music makes sense.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I liked P for his ability to like translate pain over anything, and also just be one of the most like he could like I was thinking about this thing a couple days ago where he's like I think it was on the Murder Music album where he's like the name's P with the capital P.
yep.
I was like that's one of the funniest lines I've ever heard, but it was real and I felt it like he said the greatest bar ever.
He was he was so unconventional. Whenever somebody says my favorite MC is Prodigy, I'm like, really? Like, because he was so odd. He always sounded so different
Mhm.
than everyone else. Um, it was always hard for me to admit that he either got killed on a track or killed anyone on a track because he just had his own mathematical language.
Right, he was hard to measure.
Right, right. So it was, and that's what made him beautiful, really. Yeah, no, that's good. The other thing I was thinking about in the '90s was there were so many producers who were great rappers but never pushed both.
Mm.
You know, we were always talking about, oh, the in the '90s we would always say stuff like, oh, there aren't a lot of like elite rappers who are also elite producers. But really it was because those guys usually chose a lane, and if their production was crazy, they chose production.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like that probably happened with Lord Finesse more than
Right.
anybody
Right.
Because there was like a 4 year stretch when he was doing verses for everybody, and he would lay the beat down too.
Yep.
Top tier and finesse rap, like
Crazy.
what happened to the punchline king?
Yeah. No, it's and really I was thinking about who never stopped doing both. It would be somebody like Quick.
Yeah,
Like Quick was always like, nope, I'm gonna do it all, you know. And that was cool. But it was a lot of people dropped one for the other, um, and usually producing one out. Um, yeah,
producing, especially back then, because not everyone could do it.
right, right, yes,
Like if you wanted to make beats, you had to spend 10 grand to get the drum machine.
right, right, right. It was,
Good point.
yeah, that was more rare. You could find people to spit, you know. Um, yeah, that's a good point. So she's different, man. But yeah, so when you were, so you do you like to record this stuff and get it out?
Yeah,
Do you ever think about, do you organize your year? Do you go, this has got to come and then this is going to come and then that? Do you have any, do you just free rolling through that? Or?
it's mostly free. Like I'll play collaborative projects like that. Like and that's like so I don't get wrapped up in too much. Like I have an album with Andrew that's gonna come out in August, I think,
Hmm.
and I still have to record my parts for it. But like we set the deadline. It has to come out in August, so it happens.
Yeah,
Because like I have albums with other people that I've been pushing back because we have no deadline, and it's been like 2 3 years.
that makes sense. So you have like a skeleton framework of
Yeah,
like what you're going to do. Yeah.
yeah. Like like if I'm working on a project, I'll be like, all right, when this is done, maybe like 2 3 weeks after it's done. And like a lot of times I'll announce the album before it's done. Like I probably made an announcement for Meals on Wheels when it was like halfway done.
Yeah. It's,
Is that to like set a deadline for you? Do you work better when you have like a clear deadline?
Yeah, because I'll just be like, oh shit, like I gotta get this done.
Hmm.
Like I can't. I'm gonna put the album out. It's gonna be like 6 songs, and everyone's gonna hate it.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like when you are creating, okay, like what I found was I wanted to know what I was doing. I wanted to have like the basic framework of what I was doing. But if I pre-mapped everything out too much, I I wasn't having fun anymore.
Right? It felt like it feels like work.
Or yeah, or
Like,
or it feels boring because you're just enacting what you thought up weeks ago. There's no room for crazy stuff to happen.
right? You need the little something spontaneous.
Right. You need to plan for the spontaneous. You need to leave room for that, right? And you need the advantage of the skeleton framework plan is that if you plan too tightly and some shit goes wrong, you break your heart.
Right?
You ever find that, Kate, where there are people who shop and they want something so specific, they're heartbroken when they don't get it. And
That
they give
and
themselves wiggle room to adjust and be like, you know what? Maybe this shoe's okay too.
yeah, and I mean it gives you almost blinders because you may, come across something that you really need, but you don't know that you need because you're so focused on what you were looking for.
Mm.
Right, right. What's the goal here,
Right.
right? If there's four ways to get to the goal, then let's play around.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that you leave yourself room in there. That's nice. And as you grow, you can, you might enjoy planning more. You might fill in the skeleton a little bit more than
Mhm.
you do now. But you have room to do that or not do that, you know? Um, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. So what are your what are your goals for growth? What do you target as like, I want to work on this?
I don't even know. Like I want to just put the the album I'm working on at the current time versus the last one, and just be like, it's better than the last one. Because I don't want to put something out that I'm like, yeah, all right, it's good, but the last one was definitely way better. And I don't know how to put that into words too much, but it just has to have a different feeling.
Right. I do.
Uh,
Yeah.
How do like so when you're creating all of these projects? So are you working? Let me ask: are you working on multiple projects at one time?
Yeah, normally like two.
So how do you differentiate? You know, okay, this goes on this project, and this is going to go on this project.
It just has to. I think I'll have like if I have like two beats on a project or the feel of one project
Mm-hmm.
more hashed out, I'll just know which one it'll fit on better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's like it's a lot of feeling.
Hmm. Like
Have
for
you?
like to go. Let's go with like Meals on Wheels. Like,
Mhm.
what was the feeling that you were trying to that you were going for Meals on Wheels?
I just wanted to do something like to keep it moving, like with the car concept or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted them all to be like the right amount of dark. Even the happy ones, I wanted to be a little dark. Where the other ones that didn't make the album that are splitting into the next thing I'm going to put out are happier.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's tone really.
Yeah,
So when you did Meals on Wheels, was there a specific song where you were like, "That's the tone setter"? Like that's
it was the first one that Lee sent me.
oh, okay, the opener.
Yeah, I
How to move.
I want to say that album was made like the order the tracks came in. Like the track list is in, if not very close to the order the songs were made in.
Mm,
Wow.
that's dope. So you knew when you finished that you were like, "All right, now I know what this album sounds like."
Right.
That's dope. That's
Because I like to like if I'm making a song, I'm like, all right, I gotta add a song to this album. I'm listening to the song before it. Like I'm not gonna make a song and like weave it in between different tracks. Like I'm trying to build the album up and not have to arrange it later and try to expand on the feeling from the first part.
so have you been in a situation where you're making two albums, recording stuff for both, but then you make a few songs and you realize they're not the tone of either, and they're you're like, "This is a third fucking album."
Yeah. And that's why I can scrap stuff and like I'll use stuff for other projects like collaborative stuff
Yeah,
or just scrap a song.
yeah.
Hmm.
Or just put it in the vault until it fits the tone of what.
Right. You pull it out and be like, oh, that works for this album 2 years down the line or whatever.
That's cool.
Hmm. So you, so every, because that's interesting, because that kind of would explain how you would have five projects in about 5 months. Like every album, every project you view as like a different tone, like a different mood that you're trying to capture.
Hmm.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah, and it does feel like a continuing conversation.
Hmm.
You know, they're all listenable projects. Um, there, there's no wild swings away from the tone, right? It's just it shifts. So yeah, it's good stuff. To our Mob Deep comparison, right? Like Mob Deep albums were different, but not like crazy different.
Hmm.
You know, they all had different feels,
But
but it was them. Huh? What was that?
it was still Mobb Deep.
Exactly. And you what you came for, you got. You know,
Mhm.
every time. So I think that's consistent with this stuff, with all the projects that you put out there, and it's a heck of a body of work at this point. um, making a name. The so in terms of producer Sudoku versus rapper Sudoku, what what came first? What comes naturally first? Where does your create process start with those two?
So for me, it was like when I was in high school, I just started, like writing raps before I would go to bed because I liked rap and I was like, I want to do this somehow.
Mm.
But I like grew up in the country outside of Albany, so it was like a lot of country shit. So it wasn't a lot of people to
Right.
back rap off of. So I would like do it with myself, like writing stuff in the notes app on my phone. But I would steal beats off YouTube and like there's albums that don't exist anymore of me going into a desktop mic over Dilla beats and like ripping SoundCloud beats. And
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody online and they were like, "Hey, that's a real bad look to just steal beats." And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's kind of a dick move." So I started making beats in like 2016 and got really into it like a year later, my first year of college. And I stopped rapping for like a long time because I was like, "Oh, I want to get good at making beats now." And so I really started rapping seriously again, like maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
But it was definitely rap first. But yeah, I kind of once I started making beats, I was like, nah, this is it. And then I started rapping again. I was like, nah, this is it. But they both can be it.
Mm. What was it about making the beats that resonated with you?
I like so I like making collage art, like hand cut collage,
Mhm.
because I like being able to take something that exists and make it your own. And I like the idea of sampling was so interesting to me. And I love like that old soul music. Like I'm a huge jazz fan,
Yeah.
so it's easy to get into the stuff that people were sampling because I was studying jazz in college, and I was like, oh, I enjoy this. Let me sample this. And yeah, just like I fell in love with it, and I still love making beats.
That but that's a I think that's a pretty unique one that we've heard, Kay, right? Like because there was a clear split where it was like, no, if I'm gonna make beats, I'm 100% gonna make beats, and MC Sudoku goes into hibernation.
Yeah, like when I stopped doing rap stuff, like I would like write lines every couple months or so, but I probably made like 10,000 beats or something stupid. Like I did nothing but make beats for like 5 years straight.
Mm.
And like all those beats don't exist anymore, but they were all important.
Yeah, yeah. I remember talking to Sleep about this in our first interview of like you have those years where you just sit in a dark room alone and just do your shit over and fucking over again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm at the point where I could hear that you'd done that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could hear that you had been through that already. Um, and so that makes sense that you were just like hammering the shit out of that stuff.
And
To
that's
get
why when I like if I'm working on a project, that's why it's probably gonna come out quicker because I'm literally just still used to doing that. Like, all right, I made a beat, now I gotta make another one.
mm,
And just yeah.
that's dope.
Now, do you engage in an editing process of any sort, or do you kind of just whatever you create, you're going to none more or less send that out intact
Or edit during construction, right? You
during
could
construction, right?
edit during construction.
What do you mean?
The my thing with the edit during construction.
Yeah, like what do you mean by edit? Like edit
Like, do you
while
ever create something, sit with it, and then go back and make changes to the project or the song?
not that odd because it, it's real annoying. And it's why a lot of people haven't worked with me because I won't send them stems because when I bounce something out, it doesn't exist anymore to me. Like I literally haven't
Oh,
seen an Ableton session in years because my computer is like I've always been like my computer's about to die. So now I take another. So I haven't like that's why I hate AI, but the stem separators are real good for doing vocals. Like if I record something, I can go back and be like, all right, the vocals were too loud on this one. Let me raise the vocals up a little bit or turn them down a bit, whatever. But yeah, once it's bounced out, it's done pretty much.
oh wow.
That's good stuff. So the question I would have is, how do you know a beat is done?
A beat, I don't know. Like it just has to feel done. And I won't spend more than like 10, 15 minutes on a beat because I'll overthink it. I think some of the best beats that people have been made a loop. Oh, that was cool, real quick. Like a lot of the best beats are like 2 bar simple loops.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think a lot of it is just not overthinking it.
So
And
do you
try to,
is it a level of excitement you hit where you're like, this is fucking it? Like, where you're like, I'm good, you know? Um, a level of kind of undeniability of like, I like this shit. And then you can move on.
yeah, pretty much it'll be like I'll just get to the point where I'm like, all right, I like this. Let's do another one. But I also will like I'll make beats that I don't like that much. I'll just be like, I don't like this, but maybe someone else will.
Oh,
Cause I cause I like when I'm making beats, I'm thinking about them as a producer, but inevitably I'm thinking about them as a rapper too. And
yeah.
I'm like the pickiest rapper in the world when it comes to picking beats. So I'm like I made like 600 beats this year so far and rapped on like 20 of them. Um, but it's that like I try not to get in my too much in my head about it if I don't like something. So I'm like it always happens whenever I send people beats, they always pick the ones that I hate. I'm like, oh, he's gonna love this one, and then he's like, that one you accidentally put in the pack, that's the one.
Yep. Yep. And are you like proud of that bad beat for graduating out of the pack? Or are you like,
Yeah, it's like the cat in the litter that the run in the litter that you thought wasn't gonna get. He ends up being the strongest one.
yep,
But
that
yeah, I definitely feel good because I'm like, this isn't just gonna live on my Google Drive anymore
right, right.
and sit there and die.
So there is kind of an ongoing conversation between rapper Sudoku and producer Sudoku of like where this stuff will live.
Right.
That's interesting. That's interesting. But like we talked about, okay, putting a bunch of shots up, right? 600 beats, you've got some stuff,
I mean, statistically speaking, you have to have some stuff.
Yeah.
right?
like,
You got to be getting better at that point. Like it's
like, what is your? I mean, 600 beats. So that's 100 beats. I mean, we're well less than 100. That's like 120 beats a month right now, average. What's your creative process like? How are you staying so prolific in terms of production and creation?
For me, it's like I make a lot of beats while I'm at work
Hmm.
because I have a job that's like very sporadic with the amount of work that we get. Like some days
Mhm.
I'll be there for 24 hours straight. Some days I'll just be there for 8 and we didn't get any work, but we still had to sit at the desk.
Right.
So a lot of it, like sometimes I'll just be like, all right, I'm at work. I don't want to talk to this old lady who's trying to talk to me right now.
right, right.
Time make and then you look up at 5 o'clock and you made like 35 beats or something.
Wow.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean a lot of it is just to escape from whatever else is going on. That's why a
Mhm.
lot of stuff comes at work because putting on the headphones is the best escape as Like any music enthusiast knows.
So
So what? So here's another question I was thinking about was so you're making all these projects at once, right?
Mhm.
And you're moving fast. What if you were like I'm making songs for a bunch of projects. One of the projects is my slow project, where I'm taking it slow, where I'm waiting for features, you know, where I'm you know, going over it, editing it, cleaning stuff up more. I've 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 struck against my relentlessness here, and I'm gonna give this one an open window to be done when it's done,
Mhm.
while the rest of them crank out. Um, could you see yourself doing that?
I honestly I've thought about it, but I don't know where to start with it. But I've done that one time in the past. Like I have an album, I think last December it came out called Sorting Out Your Life.
Yeah.
That's just that's like the only album I have that has a bunch of producers, bunch of features, and that took like 9 months to finish, just like fine tuning stuff, waiting on things. Like one of the features on the album, my guy Devin B doesn't even rap anymore.
Mhm.
When I just started making beats, did like I think the beats from like 2016 or something. Like I was real bad at making beats, but I made one that he liked.
Mhm.
Sent me the demo like however many years before, like 8 years before, and was like, I never opened it or never saw that he sent it. So like when I was like 18, 19, I was like, ah damn, I thought Dev liked that beat. I guess he didn't like it that much. But he posted a snippet of it on his Instagram story, and I was like, "Oh shit, this exists! Send me that. I'll put it on an album." It went back to that far. It was like the thing took 9 months to make, but also pulled from years prior.
Yeah, that project's crazy. You got Fanon, Gray Matter, Brain Orchestra on that. Freddie Stone featured. Good shit, dude.
Fredman, I think we have an EP that's supposed to come out. I don't know. Freddie, shout out to Freddie Stone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, another shout out August Fanon because that dude has been like the reason I made 600 beats this year is because it's like when you're not like if you're playing basketball and you're not in like if Kobe's not in the gym, he's like
not in the gym, you know someone else is. Yeah.
I know he's making beats right now and I'm not. I make beats.
I love that as the inspiration and the takeaway. Most people will talk about the Fanon folders and how they're intimidating, and you're just like, all right, that's the speed I'm going at. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I honestly I didn't have anybody that was like yeah, make beats like that. Because he put like I put a couple packs together, sent him folders, and he was like, "Oh shit, there's like 1,000 beats in here." So he was like, put together a rapper or a pack for whatever rapper, puts the 60 beats in it.
Yep,
And I've heard people talk about when they get a beat pack and there's so much to choose from, it could be overwhelming, but at the same time, they're like, there's gonna be something in here.
yep, yep. No, that's dope. That's a great inspiration. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, is there anyone? Because like your approach is kind of unique. Because we've dealt with, I mean, not dealt. We've talked with a lot of artists who are very, we'll say, particular about what they're producing, what they're making.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like to like a level of perfectionism. So I wonder, like, so we know Fanon was an inspiration. What kind of inspired this approach to music, where you're like, once I've created it, I'm settled with it. I'm gonna release it into the world.
I liked the big one was probably like that Knack and Divino run when they're like, "Oh, we made this album in 2 days," and it's still crazy. Like a Cure on Acid was like that.
yep.
But the honestly, the big one was probably Kanye when he was dropping The Life of Pablo.
Yeah.
I remember he was like, he kept being like, "I'm gonna drop the album," just kidding. I'll put another song on it. I'm doing this and like fine tune it up right up to the end. And I was like, yo, it's crazy. I didn't know you could do that. I thought music had to be done for like a year before it came out.
That's
Yeah, no, and my thought, Kay, when you asked that question, um, was that like there was so when I was you're as a writer, I hated when writers would start to talk about like, I went to a field with flowers and butterflies and then I was able to write this poem. I hated that shit because I wanted to have a practical skill set that could live anywhere. You know, I
Mm.
would pull up, Microsoft Word at work and just go in, you know, and do valuable shit, you know, um, on a 15-minute break or whatever, like just fucking whatever, because I wanted to be able to do this wherever, you know, a practical skill set. And I think that's what the rigor you put yourself through develops, right? Like you put yourself in a place where you can make a good to great beat in 10, 15 minutes,
Right.
you know, and you can create a number of songs per day so that when you get a shot with a bigger person, right? If the alchemist is like, spit on this, right? You'll be ready for it because you've put in the time, you've put in the work there. You have a practical skill set that can survive different environments.
Hmm.
And I think that's really valuable, underrated, I would say.
Yeah, you gotta be ready. Like I don't know, it's like you're on the sideline. You never played a game in your life. You're sitting at the end of the bench, and the star player gets hurt. You gotta
Right.
be,
Yeah.
especially like with what you're saying with rap. You gotta be able to do it anywhere. Like you writing in the 15-minute break or wherever, opening word at work. It's the same thing with rap. Like you got to do what you can wherever you are,
Right.
whatever station, whoever you're around. You got to be able to do it. But yeah, and it's a lot of it is proving yourself because I don't know. You hang out in a room with a bunch of rappers. That is like the biggest ego fest ever,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah. Yeah.
gotta be right up there with everybody.
Yeah. No, it's important to be able to do what you say you do, right? Like it used to really frustrate me when people would be like, "I'm a writer, but they only write one thing every 6 months." I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like we do this every day." You know. Um, and so that was, yeah, the process you're outlining. I understand it. I understand it. I understand the want to be able to do this from all angles at any point. So, if you could have anyone produce a full project for you, who would it be?
Oh, it's a tough question. I don't know. I don't. I want to say like I don't want to say Alchemist or something because I want it to be like, mm, that's a hard question 'cause there's so many good producers.
There are. There really are.
Uh, I have no idea.
Great environment for producers.
Maybe like I don't know. Maybe like Chuck Strangers or somebody.
Ooh, that's a good fit.
Like Chuck has crazy beats, and like a lot of feeling behind them. And I always am partial to anybody who's going to use a MPC 2500. I've never heard anybody make a bad beat on one of those. Or I'll say like him or Animos or somebody.
Ooh, Animos is a good deal too. Kay, do you have any thought? Who would you put Sudoku with?
Oh. See, I'm not good with producers off the top of my head, but I would think someone because I see your rapping kind of reminds me of how do I say this? Like the free association. I want to say like the Drought 3 Little Wayne type of not necessarily Little Wayne, but
Yeah. Yeah.
just that free association, like you
Energy.
don't know what's going to
Yep.
come next type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want beats that are like a lot, give you space to like really just kind of explore wherever your mind is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever producer could give creates beats that have a lot of space in it, I think would be a good fit for you.
You know what I'm gonna say, Kay?
Who?
Small Pro.
Yeah. We do love Small Pro here. Absolutely. Yeah,
Crazy. Shout out to Small Pro.
absolutely.
Yep.
I
Small Pro.
I played a show with him right before New Year's in Philly. Like I drove down to Philly to do Andrew's farewell show.
Oh
Mm.
wow, that's dope.
And yeah, Small Pro had like Small Pro's beats are crazy, but his dance moves,
Oh,
that
that's.
impeccable.
Oh, I've never been able to see the dance moves, Kay. Now I need to be able to do this. But that's dope. Yeah, I think that would be a great fit. You know, Small Pro understands all the different emotions and richness of boom bap. You know, um, yeah,
He's one of the few people too that's like he's always making beats. Like I know that
yeah,
I made 600 beats this year. He probably made 6,000,
right, right, right.
and they're all crazy too.
So can you think of? I mean, you mentioned Andrew, Small Pro, August Fanon. Have you come across any advice recently that's really resonated with you as an artist? I guess you could say.
I think yeah, probably from like August drops a lot of gems.
Mhm.
Like I talk to him almost every day, and yeah, what it'll just be like if I send him a beat or something, it'll be like, think about it like this, or like try to boost this. Don't put this in the mix because people won't like it when you send it to the engineer. Just like a lot of like how people move in the business.
Hmm.
It's a lot of feeling stuff out though, for sure. I haven't got a ton of advice from people.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean that's yeah. August does drop absolute gems. Let me see. Ooh, so I'm already thinking about it. Kay, do you have any other questions for Sudoku?
No, man. I'm
Oh,
great discussion. I mean, this was a really enlightening. What I liked about it is, I mean, hearing about your process and hearing about how you create. It's very interesting to me.
Mm.
everybody does it differently,
Yeah.
and and there is the like mythology of the producer who pours over the beat for a year and a half and loses track of what time and space is. Um, and you're consciously like, I will not allow myself to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I
You're staying fresh. First in, first out.
There's the meme of the producer sitting at the computer just playing different snare sounds, and they're all the same.
yeah, yeah,
Will not do that.
yeah. You're fighting it. That's shout out to you, man.
Absolutely.
For that because yeah, you're some of that stuff, the nuances of those beats, people won't really hear the difference. Like, um, but yeah, I'm ready for recommendation corner, Kay. If you
Yeah, let's go.
load up. So, man, I've been digging uh, a former guest of the show. I want Kip Stone.
Rap game
Hmm.
Bob Ross.
I want nothing is the album title. I
Mhm.
want nothing. It doesn't like have a clear standout single to me, but it's 9 tracks and it's so cohesive. Uh, yeah, the shortest song is 2 minutes 2 minutes 6 seconds. You know, just a good body of work. Um, and the flow's still crazy. Kip Stone is so goddamn fun to listen to. And go to who?
So,
Oh, shout out to I'll do two here. I'll do two more. Um, they were talking about the best debuts. What's the best debut? And somebody was like Illmatic. John Morrison being the librarian of all music
Mm.
goes, Os Mutantes from 1968. One of the best debuts of all time. And I'm like, all right, man, let me check out Os Mutantes. I'm into that. Um, fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful album. Crazy.
What's the name? How do you spell it? O-S?
OS space Mutantes.
Los Mutantes. Okay.
That's the name of the group and the album. It's the self-titled joint. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And of course, the third, can't go anywhere without talking about it. Potluck by Bruiser Wolf.
Mm,
This
that's crazy.
this run by Bruiser Wolf is insane. And the excitement people have for Bruiser Wolf is on a special level. Like your favorite rapper is looking forward to Bruiser Wolf dropping. You know, that's like different energy. You know,
Yeah, it's always really funny. Like I saw Billy Woods going crazy for Bruiser Wolf album coming out, sharing it, sharing the interviews, and I'm like, on paper, that should not make sense.
right, right, right.
I love that. I just love seeing people in the game that are like excited about other people to do big things, even if they're already doing big things.
And I think both of those artists are much more than they are thought of as.
Mm.
Right? Billy Woods is not the just the Criterion collection of rappers. You know, he's he's funny and gross and emotional. You
Mhm.
know, he's a lot of things that people don't give full attention to. And Wolf is not just the one-liner jokester. Like, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of real shit in his shit. Um, that you can tell means a lot to him. Both like I can see it connecting because I think they're both doing a lot more than people know, and I think they understand that. I love great artists who know how to listen to other artists who don't sound like them. It's beautiful. Makes me very happy. Um, Kay, what are you rocking with? What are you listening to?
Uh, no, nothing new, music wise, but I did see that friendship movie, with Tim Robinson and
Oh,
Paul Rudd. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think it's got a thought provoking message as well. So
that's good stuff,
yeah,
man.
I see that.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't too familiar with Tim Robinson. Like I hadn't seen any of his previous stuff, but I thought he was great in his role.
So to do an NBA minute here with Sudoku.
Yeah.
So TNT era is over, and it
Yep.
makes sense. They were complaining about the game a lot, you know? It was almost like one of those stand-up comedians that is just shredding his wife on stage. And you're like, dog, the next one's gonna be the divorce hour. I know it. I can feel it.
Like, aren't jokes anymore.
Right. The Chris Rock had that shit where he was special, was just ripping marriage and his wife. And then the next one was, I fucked up and I'm divorced now. And I'm like, yeah, I thought so. So it gets to be like that. Um, and TNT was like that. Now we're headed to the NBC era. I will tell you, I think um I think Gilbert Arenas makes Joe Budden look like a diplomat. I think Gilbert Arenas is going to be scarier and crazier than Stephen A, than any of these fucking people.
Gilbert Arenas is on the NBC.
He's going to be on
Oh,
NBC, yeah.
That's crazy. I thought they were getting Michael Jordan to do it too.
He's
wow.
going to do like featured stuff. I think they'll just like cut to him for segments where he's like, none of these guys are shit. I'm the GOAT. And then they come back. Um,
I think they're not gonna do this, but what they should have did, they had to first throw. I want to see the amount of money they threw at him to do that because like they're not doing it for I know you don't really care.
Well, I
Uh,
think he might have been an easy sell on it, right? Because he wants to guide the narrative, right? He's probably tired of other people steering the narrative.
yeah.
Also, him and Mello are tight, and Mello's going to be there.
Hmm.
So he's got familiar faces there. Mello will likely be the peacemaker, mediator guy.
Yeah. That's why I like Mello on. I think he has a podcast. I've seen
Yeah,
clips.
7
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
Uh,
really good.
he's great, but Gilbert's going to be the wild card.
Oh, for sure.
There's a clip of Gilbert Arenas saying the cat is built like a woman and has a woman's hips.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that. He didn't use the word woman though.
He did not, but I will.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
um, so I would, and that's just the last of the crazy 18 clips that you can find. Gilbert does not care.
No.
yeah, no. And I'm interested to see how they tone him down because he can't do all that on NBC. But I will say I'm glad that Gilbert Arenas will not have Rashad McCants around.
Yeah.
Um, I think he'll be a little more. He could be pretty reserved, but it'll definitely be a lot. I
Wow.
I had to like when they cut to Jordan, he should do like they're like, all right, we're gonna go to Jordan for the game. They cut to him and he's like, all right, so you're gonna take the under on Milwaukee.
Yeah. He's like, you know how like Richard Jefferson will say shit to get under people's skin and fuck with people a little bit,
Yeah.
but he's like the uncut version.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
He's like the blue magic by comparison to like,
No chill.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't even imagine that. That's
They should have put Jeff Teague on it.
oh man, Jeff Teague is phenomenal.
I love when he starts talking about because he's the only person that like will not try to make himself look good. They're like, yo, why did you try to injure LeBron on this play? He's like, because we're losing. I'm the best sport.
Yep. No, there's some people out there. It'll be interesting to see what the new crop is, you know.
Yeah.
But Sudoku, what have you been bumping? What have you been listening to?
Um, I've been running back The Door by Knack and Divino.
Yeah.
That album is crazy. I've been really honed in on the production on it, especially Knack's production. It was crazy.
I love Nax production. Yeah.
And I noticed he uses like the same exact drum sounds for almost every beat, but they always sound different. But I'm like, that's the same one. But it always hits. I've been playing that. Um, Gore-Tex Blunts by Freddie Stone and Thalo Blue.
Yep.
Um, I've been playing local two local rappers. I like Rakim Ali has an album called Mercy Rule.
Okay.
Crazy. I think Pootie and Wise Boy Jeremy are on it.
Okay.
And yeah, he is the best rapper in Albany for sure. And then Black Kush, I could say the same thing about. He just dropped an album called The Infinite Money Glitch, and he had an album a few months ago called There's Always Hope Volume 5.
Yep.
But
Okay.
I've been going through Black Kush's discography more than anyone recently.
That's cool. Yeah, I just added the Mercy Rule album. Yeah.
Black Kush is probably the best writer I've ever heard in terms of like he's funny and everything he says is a bar. Uh, and it's like really, I don't know how to describe it. But August Fanon put me onto him and was like, "Oh, you heard this guy?" And I'm like, "No." And then I found out he lives like 15 minutes down the road from me.
Crazy. Yeah,
Uh, but
that's crazy.
yeah,
That's
I've been listening to a lot of stuff
yeah,
recently.
that's great, man. Yeah, it's there's always more cool shit out there. Um, it's a great environment. Certainly
Absolutely.
independent scene. Um, Yeah. So subscribe to Sudoku's Bandcamp because there will be updates, there will be notifications. Work is happening.
Mhm.
Follow Sudoku all caps on social media, right? Twitter, IG, the whole deal. And yeah, state of the game, continuing the grind forward. We're doing it, man. We've been working, Kay.
Mm.
Been working.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
You guys,
The Spotify for Creators allows me to pull a spreadsheet of all of our most listened to episodes and just pour over the data.
Mhm.
I love that shit. I love that shit. So
who's your number one listen to right now?
yeah, we got a new number one. It's the Backwoods Fantasy Draft that we did with Caltropes and Rhino. So dope, man. So dope.
I gotta check that.
It was
Yeah.
great. It was fucking great. And I housed everybody. It was wonderful. Yep. But yeah, that'll be good. Billy Woods should listen to that episode and give me some hand clap emoji comments. That would be appreciated from the Don.
What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow